बोल दिया आपने, अब मैं क्या बोलूँगा? Very respected Dr. Majumdar, Dr. Vidya, and all the other doctors that are assembled on the stage today, including my wife. मेरे नाम के आगे एक खिताब लगा दिया है प्रोफेसर एमेरिटस। मुझे कभी भी इन खिताबों से दिलचस्पी रही नहीं है और इस लायक मैं नहीं समझता हूँ अपने आप को कभी भी। मैं चाह रहा था कि यहाँ आकर के आप सब लोगों से हाथ वाथ हिला करके वापस चला जाऊँ, लेकिन जब अभी पूरा दौरा किया आपके कैंपस का तो पता चला कि कितना डेवलपमेंट हो चुका है। जब मैं पिछली बार आया था यहाँ पर, ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट that is so beautiful and wonderful to observe, witness, and experience. I was particularly impressed by the medical university, Dr. Vidya, and all the efforts that have been made, not just to take care of every kind of possible illness, but also to be able to look after the poor and give them free treatment. That is extremely laudable. Thank you so much for that. मेडिकल कॉलेज की बात जब हो रही थी तो मैं ये सोच रहा था कि इस मेडिकल कॉलेज में कोई ऐसा आविष्कार हो सके जहाँ एक 80, 81, 82 वर्ष के बूढ़े को फिर से 20-30 वर्ष का कर दिया जाए, ताकि मैं यहाँ नहीं वहाँ आप लोगों के साथ बैठ सकूँ। Truly speaking, I do feel that all of you are extremely privileged to be a member of this wonderful environment, this university, to be under the guidance of such brilliant brains, and to be given an opportunity to show to the rest of the world what India is all about. All of you are, as Jay was saying, one day will become the future of the nation, and I'm so proud to feel that we are on the path to get glory and achievement. And I hope that very soon, several of you will be contributing in your own special way towards the grandeur and the excellence that this country deserves. I congratulate all the achievers, and may you achieve more in the coming years. Many a times, the film industry, which is known as the largest film industry in the world, comes under a lot of criticism, and all kinds of accusations come to us that you are responsible for changing the morals of the country and changing the attitude of the people. I'm sure that, you know, Jaya, who has studied formally at the Institute, would endorse the fact that stories and films are made from experiences that we notice in nature, in the world, in everyday life, and that is what becomes our inspiration. You have been given, all of you that have today assembled here for the film festival, given an opportunity where you will be taught, trained, experimented with to pick up the very best that is there in our world and make films that inspire millions and millions of people. Cinema in itself has its own power, and I've always believed it to be a very powerful tool in our lives. And I always want to quote an incident that I once shared with my father. During the last years of my father, every evening he would be asked to be put out in the hall and in front of the television and asked to play a film. In those days we had the cassette, and a new cassette used to be put every day, and he used to watch a film, and that was his evening entertainment, and then he would go back to his bedroom under all the medical facilities. And many a times the films that he saw were repeats. And one day I asked him, you know, every evening you come out here and you watch the film, don't you get bored? I mean, what do you find in Hindi cinema? Baar baar aap use dekhte rehte hain. He said, I get to see poetic justice in 3 hours. You and me will not get to see poetic justice in a lifetime, perhaps several lifetimes. And that is the learning that cinema gives to all of us. We have been born and brought up, all of us, in a particular kind of culture. And we want to express that all the time. And it is this medium that gives us the liberty to portray what we have learned, what we have observed, what we have seen. Not just in India, but to have students from across the world, international students, for them too, to be able to portray what they feel in their language, in their culture, what can be impressive for people like you in our country. Many a times I'm invited to an opening of a film festival. And I've never known really what to say at an occasion like this. One particular state has been very persistent that I attend their international film festival. And every year I used to go there, and they used to say, please talk about cinema, talk about films. So I went there and I did a bit of research and wrote a document talking about Indian cinema, its history, its culture, etc. So the head of that nation said, that was really good, you know, you have to come here again. So the next year I went again. This process went on for 5, 6 years. On the 6th year, I told them, can you please stop inviting me, because I really don't know what more I can say. I hope that isn't an indication to Dr. Vidya for stopping me from coming here, because I love being here. And as I said, I wish that I had been born in your era to be able to experience what Symbiosis does and has been doing to all of you. Thank you so much for having me here. I believe, do you have the question? Yeah, many a times Dr. Vidya said that, you know, a lot of the people here would want to ask me some questions, and if they are decent enough, you're ready to do that now. You want me to give it here? Where is it? No, I'll do it here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, please do. Yeah, I'll have also. Hello. We will now be heading to the Q&A session, where we have taken some select questions from both our offline and online audiences. So the first question is from Pranav from SIMC. I request you to please stand up and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Firstly, a huge fan, and it feels like a dream come true to talk to both of you. So I think over the years, you've done so much of work in cinema. It's been decades now, both of you have been working in cinema, and my question is that beyond the fandom, the fans, stardom, and all of this, what actually keeps you humble? What actually keeps you grounded? And if there is this one thing you would want to tell the young generation today, all the students today, what is that one thing we should carry with us to always stay grounded despite of so many achievements in life?
First of all, I don't know what humble means. I just be what I am, and if it has to be given a title, I don't accept that. But what can one say? Every day is a learning for me, and I'm sure that all those who are interested in making films will say that. Every day is something new. To be able to watch an artist perform in front of you, or a film that you've seen and observe the nuances. I keep watching adverts as well, and they're all done by, new generation, new faces. Yes, they have celebrities doing a lot of ad films, but even in an ad film sometimes I notice an expression which I may want to use in a film that I'm doing in the future. I think the power of observation really is what every student of cinema should have in their minds. I don't know what it is inside an actor. We go out and we see the world, and I don't know how we have observed something without any concentration, and it's gone into this head of ours, much like a computerized version, and at an opportune moment, it just comes out. I don't know how it happens, but I'm sure that when you will venture out into the world of cinema, you will also be doing that.
Amitji,
I can only say
this is
that...
called emotional memory.
Sorry?
This is called emotional memory.
Oh, thank you so much. You can now address her as Dr. Jaya Bachchan. So just be as natural as possible. Just be yourself. There are very few of us, that can live with that status. Just be who you are. Just be status. That's the status that you have. That I walk around. I've been here for almost an hour or so, and somewhere something has gone into my brain. I don't know what it is, but when I come in front of the camera, if there is a scene, if there is a sequence which desires some kind of a reaction, which I may have observed in today's meeting, it'll come out. And that is what I feel when I'm in front of the camera. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is from the online mode. Soham Das, can you please unmute and ask your question? He's from SIG.
Good afternoon, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure to interact with you now. Sir, my question for you will be that your unwavered for a long period of time. So my question for you will be that how can you think that different influencers who have been in the limelight or any kind of celebrities who have some kind of influence over the society can do well-being for the society?
Soham, can you please repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. My question is that how do you perceive the responsibility of individuals in the limelight to leverage for their betterment of their fans and the entire society?
Leverage, their celebrity status for social causes. I think that's what he wants.
How
Yes.
do you leverage?
Yeah, social conscious. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, whatever the script, it's the writer that decides the social consciousness of a film or a subject. The writer, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is the most important person in a film. He writes the story, he designs the characters, he writes the dialogues, he writes what this character is going to speak, how this character is going to walk, where he's going to live, what clothes he's going to wear, what his makeup is going to look like. He decides everything. We just go there and do what the writer has asked us to do. So they are the more responsible people. Yes, I do agree that many a times writers will want to portray something which is, has a social value, a subconscious value for the country. And I'm very happy and proud to be able to be an element that actually portrays that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Soham. For our next question, we have Sanak from SIDTM. Can you please stand and ask your question?
Good afternoon, sir, and a very sincere namaste.
Namaskar.
Sir, it is an absolute honor to be just in your presence. My question is more on the lines of diversity or Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which we all stand for. Sir, we have seen how regional cinema and regional storytellers are now becoming pan-India sensations, with Telugu films doing wonderful business, or Malayalam cinema being hailed for its nuanced writing, or even Bengali films for that matter. My question, sir, is that as an industry, should we be more inclusive and to local stories and local storytellers, so that we all can grow under the banner of Indian film industry?
Well, you know, we've been making films that have been inclusive all along. It's just that because communication was not as efficient, as rapid as it is today, we were never exposed to that kind of cinema or perhaps that kind of lifestyle. Because of computerization, everything is now at the press of a button. You press a button and you get what you want. It's also doing many other things, which is something that I'm sure that all of you will be taught and observed, that speed of representation has become very rapid. If you watch an old film of the 50s or the 60s, sit down and count the number of edits that that film has. Sit down today and watch one of the recent films that have been released and count the edits of, let's say, a film like, because you mentioned regional cinema, RRR or Bahubali or whatever it is, and note and count the number of edits. You'll find that it's at least 3 or 4 times more than the ones that were there in the 50s. It shows the rapidity. There's a whole school of media training that I just observed, and if you watch the news, for example, you know, the newsreader will come and say some statement, and immediately there'll be a big bang, bam, breaking news, and something happens, and then something else comes. It's not just the pride in wanting to give breaking news. It's to make sure you keep watching that channel and not go to another one. So they want to scare you, they want to alarm you by giving this background music and putting up these big visuals, just to tell you that please keep sitting and watching. Don't go to the other channel. There's so much competition now that prevents them from going. So, yes, regional cinema has been doing very well. But you know, when we talk to them, they say, हम तो आप ही की पिक्चर बना रहे हैं जो आपने हिंदी में बनाई है. उसको हम ड्रेसिंग ऐसी कर देते हैं कि वो बहुत खूबसूरत लगती है. A lot of these people I've met, and they say, sir, I don't know why, we are just remaking all your old films. There is a Diwar, there is a Shakti, there is a Sholay somewhere in all our stories. And yes, they have, particularly Malayalam cinema, and some of the Tamil cinema is really very authentic, very aesthetic, and we need to observe that as well. But I feel that this whole idea of pointing fingers at a particular region and saying, unki achhi chal rahi, hamari nahi chali, no, it's not right. Hollywood wanted to come here, and what did they do? The first thing they did was to translate every film of theirs in the language of every region of ours. That's business. And that business is giving us an opportunity to watch other regional films as well and doing well. But yes, we are endeavoring each day to try and compete with each other and make sure that our cinema is also as good, if not better, than some of the other ones that are coming from regional cinema. Thank you.
For our last question, we have Garima from SIMC, who has an inquiry for Jaya ma'am. I request Garima to please stand and ask a question.
I have to ask.
You have to answer, ma'am.
Someone's going to ask. Oh, she. Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My question to you is, as a female actor, how professionally trained in the art, how do you navigate through the technological affordances in the industry?
How do I navigate through?
The technological affordances in the industry.
I don't know.
As in, the industry is changing.
I wish I knew. I just stand in front of the camera when the director says, action, something happens, and I navigate. I actually want to tell you one story. I did a film called Millie. So when we were shooting, I made the mistake of telling the director, one more, please, one more. He got so angry with me. He said, you think you've become a star? What do you mean by one more? Will you pay for this extra footage? Nowadays, of course, that does not matter. You can give as many takes as you want. But he was so angry, he said, I will punish you for this. I didn't know what the punishment was going to be. I thought, I'm his ladli, he'll forgive me. When we started dubbing for the film, he said, ये बहुत बड़ी star हो गई है, इसका visual बंद करो, headphone लगाओ and dub. So I had to navigate, listen to my own voice and dub and see that the sync is correct. Then because he was an editor himself, he was very happy with that. So that's how I navigate.
Actually, ma'am, that's a very pertinent question about, technological change, because ever since the chip has come out, our entire style of making cinema has changed. The incident that she's talking about comes from the fact that in our time, film, celluloid film, was the most expensive ingredient in the budget of a film. And we used to be so conscious that we have to get it right in our first take because you're never going to get another opportunity. Another opportunity meant wasting more film, more celluloid film, and that the producer and the director would never allow. Now, of course, with the chip, it's beneficial, but as an actor, sometimes, you're doing about 20, 30 retakes, not because you were bad, but because camera number 15 or camera number 6 didn't function well. You have 15 cameras on one shot. You have the close-up, you have the mid-shot, you have the long shot, you have a wide angle, all kinds of cameras now. And they don't care about timing, they don't care about celluloid, because it's all on a chip. And that sometimes is advantageous to a director. But sometimes I feel, and I'm sure that people of my generation feel the same, you can't keep on repeating the same thing again and again. And many a times, the modern generation say, so how do you get it right on the first one? I said, there's a long history behind this. So you're getting an opportunity to improve yourself. We never had that.
Thank you, sir. For the last question of the event, we have Vidya ma'am.
So we're requesting ma'am to ask him a question, as like students are asking. So I'm just requesting him. So probably this will be the first time on stage where ma'am will be asking you a question.
ये मत कीजिए, ये एक डोमेस्टिक प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. कहाँ थे रात को 2 बजे वापस आ रहे हो? अरे भैया काम कर रहे थे और क्या? कौन सा काम कर रहे थे? मत पूछवाइए प्लीज.
घर आइए, सवाल बहुत से पूछेंगे.
Okay, so what are you going to ask?
I'll ask you at home.
Oh, okay.
I have a request to make, Amitji, and that is to all the students who are here from our country and from all our neighboring and countries and all the students from outside. Please, this is my request and this is my observation. Please do not ape the Western world. Stick to your country's ethos, culture. And for heaven's sake, stop so much music. We want to see cinema.
Yeah. Just one more little thing on the technology question. Where's the lady gone? Yeah, okay. There's been a lot of technological change as well. Technology has changed, not just in the chip, but in the way films are being made, edited, stuff like that. And what really is worrying is that no technology, no new invented technology in whatever sphere has a lifespan more than 2 or 3 months now. You buy a smartphone and you feel this is it. और वो 3 महीने बाद वो नया वाला आ जाएगा और जानबूझ के ये 3 महीने में ख़राब होना शुरू हो जाएगा कंपनी वाले बोल देंगे कि ये ख़राब हो गया सर आपका फ़ोन नया लीजिए and the same thing is happening in any kind of new technology that is being developed. One of the things that is of great concern is AI, and a lot of people are objecting to the fact that face mapping, all of us are now being subjected to face mapping. So our entire body is going to be face mapped and going to be kept aside and can be used at any point of time. It's just quite coincidental that just yesterday, a very famous studio in Mumbai came and gave me a demonstration on face mapping. He showed me, he'd actually gone and shot this. He showed Tom Hanks coming into the frame, saying a lot of things, talking, yes, hi, I'm Ahab, and my mother's calling me, and then he walks to a couch, he sits down there, and he said, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to do this, and see you guys, and he walks out of frame, and in walks Tom Hanks again, 20 years old, saying the same thing, acting the same way, behaving the same manner, using the same dialogues, but his face is that of Tom Hanks 20 years. A lot of objection is also being raised, and I believe that there's some kind of a strike in Hollywood by the artists, because the producer and the director that does your face mapping is laying claim to it and saying this is our property and we'll use it whenever we want to. So there will be a time when Symbiosis will call my AI and not me personally. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anybody else? All right.
So one last request. One last request that we cannot end the program without a poem from you.
Oh. Ajay? Okay, Agnipat. ये जो कविता थी ये बाबूजी ने उस ज़माने में लिखी थी जब हम अपनी देश की आज़ादी के लिए लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे तो जितने भी स्वतंत्रता सेनानी थे उनको प्रभावित प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए ये लिखा गया था और उसका शीर्षक है अग्निपथ कि अग्निपथ 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 वृक्ष हों भले खड़े हों बड़े हों घने एक पत्र छाह भी मांग मत मांग मत मांग मत अग्निपथ 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 तू न थमेगा कभी तू न झुकेगा कभी तू न मुड़ेगा कभी कर शपथ कर शपथ कर शपथ अग्निपथ 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 ये महान दृश्य है चल रहा मनुष्य है अश्रु श्वेत रक्त से लथपथ 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 अग्निपथ अग्निपथ अग्निपथ
So thank you very much for this this wonderful end of your speech.